Right, Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Tobiko this morning inspected forest destructions in Ngong, Kibiku and Thogoto and the nearby areas, and is now holding a press conference on the same. Let's listen in.
Even the licenses, the permit to harvest our resources have no corresponding obligation to replant. They fell, they load the timber or wood or logs onto trucks and disappear into thin air. Never again to be seen, to be heard of until the next allocation when they reappear. It cannot be that way. Those that are licensed must have a clear, mandatory obligation. And I had assumed myself, I had believed myself, I was made to believe myself that there was in fact a condition, and that was a condition for their license. Now I am told it's not. Now, the other shocking thing that I learned, and Chair, you were there, and all of us were there, you were there, is that community forest associations, because this chamber system, Peli system has been constructed around these, communities adjacent to forests are the best protectors, and they must benefit from the forest. And communities register associations, and they are allowed to get in, plant their crops, as they also help in replanting of tree seedlings and taking care of those seedlings until they reach us a point when they are no longer vulnerable and they move on. In the part that today we visited, this is Kibiko. The locals who are actually tilling the land are not members of the community forest associations. They're not. In fact, they pay money to members without receipt, without agreement. So you have an association that has been given a responsibility, but they themselves subcontract and double charge. That's we heard of very horrifying stories. Now, Kenya Forest Service is a good institution working under very difficult conditions. Limited capacity, limited resources. And we are working on ensuring that KFS is empowered to have the necessary resources, the necessary personnel, and the necessary tools and competencies. But, and I say this with tremendous respect to my colleagues here, KFS is also living in self-denial. They continue with this narrative that in fact there is no destruction going on. No, this is fake news. Oh, this is stories being made by rivals within the sector. It is time. It is in fact overdue that very radical changes Yesterday we announced some few changes here and there. Others were announced a little earlier. But these are just palliatives, first aid. I am convinced beyond doubt that unless KFS radically overhaul, I mean